Hey, Genki Call here. We are going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room starting right off at the start of this video. It is Monday, May 1st. Version 6.9 is in the game, and we have a new campaign, which means a new heroic gem, which isn't actually a gem, it's a death mark, which, despite what Luther says here, cannot be matched. This is something just like the bomb gems that you have to explode. And so I'm going to talk about this while can't be matched. Can't be matched with anything. Um, you have to explode it in order to get it to work. And we're just going to do this, and it hit this bottom troop. Now, while I'm working on this, I'm going to explain that the way the death mark works is that the very first turn that you apply it, when it first goes back over, it's not going to work that first turn. It has to go to them and come back, or go to you and come back, depending on the situation, before it has a chance to take effect. So if you apply it every single turn, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there, and it doesn't even fit on the board. It made it a little big. All right, so let's blow up the things. But yeah, I just killed that. So there are good things and bad things about Deathmark, but it's the same with lycanthropy. Think of how many times you got lycanthropied. A lot, right? Dang it. All right, we are in Khetar this week, and yeah, we're just going to go right in here. You see this new symbol here? That has to do with the new epic trials. So we no longer have challenges. We now have trials, and I have complained about this a bit when version 6.9 first came out. And that is because whatever kingdom we are currently in will have the option of these epic trials. You don't have to do the epic trials unless you want the special pet. These, it won't show me. Meh. The starry pet. The starry pet, the only way to get the starry pet for the kingdom is to do the epic trials. Now, the problem is with the epic trials, and the reason why I griped a bit, is that you are limited to one team for all of the trials. And you're going to have to fight the same team every time. What are you thinking, devs? All right, I've griped about that enough. But this is the way that I have mine set up. And you can move these around. You can do this in any order you want. This is just the way that I had it set up. That's probably good like that. But I chose Bone Dragon because he inflicts frozen when somebody does skull damage on him. You can actually autoplay these things, but at the high levels, you probably aren't going to get very far. You might. But as far as the trials go, yesterday I was working on these. I managed to complete level 100 with autoplay, so it is possible, but I couldn't do these two levels with autoplay. I had to do it by hand. Anyway, I digress. No, I don't digress. That was totally on topic. What am I saying? As far as campaign goes, okay. So one of the exciting things about the new update is the way that they've reworked campaigns. If you go in here and you look at the tasks, there are 3 tasks. Oh, I don't like the way this looks. Anyway, there are 3 tasks. That's it. Just 3. 1, 2, 3. And they have milestones. And you can see here, I haven't looked at this. I went past the first milestone here. It automatically just keeps going until you finish it. And then you can collect it all at once. As far as, yeah, and so there's no reason. There's no more reroll. You can skip it. I mean, why would you want to? Skip the milestone. Just why? Why would you spend gems on this? I think they just wanted to give us the option, but why would you want to skip or reroll any of this? What a waste of gems. You just play the game and you'll get this stuff done. No worries. Wow. That is very cluttered and ugly. Why? Okay, I think that they were trying to distinguish between the free pass and the elite pass a little better, but it's just messy and ugly and I hate it. Okay. Alrighty, so the new pet is this little skelephant, little pet for Pridelands. And then the new mythic if you get the elite pass. Oh, weapon. Explode a column, create a death mark gem for each skull or purple gem in the chosen color. Wait. Not and? do you get to choose? It doesn't say choose. Oh well, I guess we'll find out when it releases. Well, meh, meh. I just moving on. As far as where is it? Okay, new tarot card. Create two Deathmark gems, which, if they don't have anything on their team that can explode things, then this could work in your favor, but, you know, it's another card. And then the new mythic is Aravada. He does true damage to an enemy boosted by his life with a 2-to-1 ratio, so it would be 100 and I'm sorry, it's 112 divided by 2. So my mind is blank. 56. Yeah, 56. But it's true damage. And if they die, explode all Deathmark gems. Does it create Deathmarks? Yes, it does. So it does create the Deathmark gems. Again, don't recommend this unless you're going against something that can't explode things, because otherwise, or unless you have Queen Beatrix or something that can cleanse your team. Anyway, I feel like I'm all over the place with this video, and I apologize. I'm very tired, and that's why this is getting out so late. But as I said, we are in Khetar this week. But before we look at that, let's go to the shop. This has not changed. Grab your spoils of war. Get your max of 10 keys if you can. It's a great deal unless, nothing better unless you run into a merchant or an angel giving these things out. Then go to weekly event and grab the Assessor Mahot. This guy converts 2 purple gems to Deathmark gems and converts all yellow gems to Doom Skulls. So, I always love yellow gems to Doom Skulls. I love anything to Doom Skulls. It's very fun, and if you've got Doom Skulls on the board, you don't cast with this unless you can absolutely get a match for. So you're going to be blowing up the board. You're going to be applying those death marks. Oh, and he's a necromancer. So, yeah, he's okay. Anyway, I always buy this up to max for Mythic, because it is a level 20 troop for when I need it for the kingdom. And for the power level, I should say. All right, going to Khetar, we're going to look at all the things. Let me make sure I have all of these selected, and we're going to switch this to base rarity. All right, looks like I do have all the things. Now, what you will not be able to get, let's go over that first. We've got Chief Dargon. Anything from Fangmore you have to get from the faction in the underworld with your Chaos Shards. Let's go over them in order. So, we'll go over, I'll mention when you can't get something. So, the mythics here, my personal favorite is actually Rathamon, but Pharos Ra, if you want souls, he's going to get you souls. Now, this says give 20 souls, it means get 20 souls. There's a big difference, devs. Please change that wording. Anyway, he gets 150% bonus souls from battle. So, he's a necromancer master. He is the bomb when it comes to getting souls. But, since Nomapalooza's came into the game and Vault, he's not as useful as he used to be, and I managed to get Dawnbringer before I ever got him. I crafted him not too long ago, actually. Last time we were in Khetar, I crafted him. Or last time he was in the Soul Forge, my bad. Yeah, but you can get him with your event keys. And then we have Pharaoh Nefertoni. She does damage to one enemy boosted by death-marked enemies. There's a max of additional 40 points there, and curse and disease all enemies. Plus, she death marks a random enemy when matching 4+ gems. Well, if you're getting lots and lots of match 4s, you're just going to be death marking them over and over and over again, and they will never take effect, and they'll just wear off at some point. Or you'll kill them before the death mark has a chance to take effect, because the very first turn, they will not take effect. Then we have Rathamon. I actually really love this guy. He's super fun. Create a mix of 24 purple gems and skulls, gain 20 souls, and cleanse all allies. I think he's a ton of fun. He would be my personal favorite from this kingdom. He's also a necromancer, and you get 4 souls when the turn begins, period. Just straight up. Extra 4 souls. Yay! As far as legendaries go, we have Onknum. He does damage to all enemies boosted by cursed enemies. And for every cursed enemy, give a barrier to a random ally. I like him for quick delves. I don't really use him for much else, although I would, excuse me, absolutely use him in a world event or something if I didn't have access to something else that did damage to all enemies, of course. Plus a 25% chance to curse a random enemy when my turn begins. Would rather it was higher, but then we have the Bone Dragon, who will absolutely wreck your day if you're in a high level delve. Eliminate up to 25 armor on an enemy, create 9 skulls boosted by armor eliminated, and gain armor. He also inflicts frozen when enemies deal skull damage to him, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Right, can't get this one. Keeper of Souls. This guy is fun, actually, super fun. Transform all gems of any color you want to skulls. So you running this with a skull spammer or you're against a skull spamming team, you can create match 4s, 5s, flood the entire board with skulls if you hit the right color, depending on the board, but that is fun. Plus he's a necromancer, and this summons actually super helpful in the trial. Never paid attention to this until the trial came up. It's like, where did that white come from? Alistair, you get just for doing the storyline here. Remove all purple gems. You won't get any mana out of it, but you will deny that to your enemy. Give armor to all allies boosted by the gems removed with a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you remove 9, you'll get 3 extra armor, and he gains a barrier. He's a pain to fight because of the barrier, but it does do double skull damage versus undead. Then we have Unkecht. This one is our siege breaker. Damage to an enemy. If it's a tower, do 3 to 5 times damage. Based on ascensions, so, at mythic level, he'll do the 5 times damage. And then also with this, the Assessor Apophysis. We'll go over Assessor in a minute. Apophysis is empowered. She'll start battles with full mana. Green gems to skulls. Give life to the first ally. And she's immune to stuffs. Assessor of Mahat. Yeah, let me just do this real quickly. Nya. Nya. Thank you. Oh, come on. Why must you be so slow? Alright. This guy. We already went over him. I forgot. I'm so tired. Ha 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 ha. Azirus, transform 1 selected mana gem into a skull. And if there are 13 or more purple gems on the board, gain 6 mana. So you're going to gain you're going to get all of your mana back if there's a ton of purple on the board. And wow. So if you can get a match 4 of it out of this and there are a bunch of purple on the board, you're just going to loop and loop and loop and loop and loop. That's cool. Bonus purple mana from purple gem matches. Hold on a second. I'm back. Alright. Jackal the Guardian. This guy does a death mark to a random enemy. A random enemy creates 1 to 3 blue mana potions. If any enemy is frozen, there's a 50% chance to get your turn back. And, I love potion gems, but, you've really got to be careful with them because they can backfire very easily. Mortera and Necreza are summoners. Mortera is our Godslayer. So that 3 to 5 times damage I mentioned, she will do that to anything with a red border. Anything. Gem Dragons, Zolgoth, Raid Boss. Enrage Kurandara. If it has a red border, she's going to do this 3 to 5 times damage. With her spell, and if you have her traded, she will as well. But also summons a random undead. Necreza also summons a random undead troop. Necreza will summon a Bone Storm to spell all positive status effects. That's every one of them, whether that's Bless or Submerge, whatever it may be. And then, summon a Remadet. Blah, blah, blah. Ah! Right. Necromancer, double skull damage versus Strix specifically. Fangmore, nope. Tutankhamun. I love his spell, Feline Disdain. I'm sorry, the name of the spell and the picture just cracked me up. But his spell itself, Curse and Death mark the strongest enemy, then destroy 42 destroy all the gems of their mana color for me. It doesn't... I've never had this work properly for me because it's just never destroying the right color or there's just not enough on the board. It just has not worked great for me. If it was explode, that would be much more useful, but um, generally destroy is better, but inflict curse when dealing skull damage is stealthy and it's undying as well. So next we have the Anubite Warrior. Summon a fortress gate, remove all skulls, give 1 armor to all allies boosted by gems removed. If there are 10 skulls on the board, it'll give an additional 10 armor to all allies. That kind of thing. Carrion Crow is going to do damage to an enemy. If they're undead, deal double damage, and if the enemy dies, create 8 skulls. Next is the Mummified King. He does damage to an enemy, death marks a random ally. This guy still death marks a random ally? Really? Why would anybody ever use this? He's a necromancer, but who cares? I mean, that would be the only reason to ever use him. You would never want to cast a spell unless they're all immune to Deathmark, in which case it would be fine, but, why would you want to? Alright, can't get. Satori Gladius creates 8 skulls and 8 red dragon gems. I'm sure that in the right circumstances this could be fun to use, but I don't know what those circumstances would be right offhand. Setite Warrior is fantastic. I love this guy. Love, love, love. I love to use him with Rowan, and I love to use him with Guard's Avatar, along with the Shield of Erskaya. Super nice. You get some extra damage to them. You get extra armor to the troop you're casting on. Very, very useful on the right team. The Tomb Knight, he does destroy a column, gains armor and attack boosted by yellow gems destroyed, times 2, so if you destroy 3, you'll get plus 6, and then gains a barrier. And these things. I know, I need to rush. I've got so much to do, guys. War Sphinx jumbles the board, gains an extra turn, hoo-yah. But he is impervious. Next is the Bastite Priestess. Transforms green gems to purple if an ally has a death mark. Also, if an ally has a death mark, also transforms yellow gems to skulls. Okay, I guess that could be a reason to use what's his face up here, the Mummified King. But why would you take that risk? Can't get Fangmore. Pharaoh Hound creates 8 purple and 8 red gems. Barrier a random ally. Revenant does damage to the last enemy boosted by skulls. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, so if there are 9 skulls, it'll do an extra 3 damage. Then death marks them. Bum, bum, bum. White. This is a summons that we talked about earlier. Steal 43 life. He steals it, adds it to his own, creates 5 purple gems, and gains a bunch of souls. Then we have the Bone Scorpion. Destroy a row, poison a random enemy for every skull destroyed. Great in arena, not so great otherwise. Skeleton, actually pretty useful. Create 7 skulls, gain 41 gain armor, and gain an extra turn so that you don't get those skulls backfiring on you, and does double skull damage versus knights. Ooh, shiny. And the Wall of Bones gains armor boosted by undead allies and enemies, and all other allies except itself gets 5 attack and mana, and reflects 25% of skull damage. Alright, finished with that part. Now, we have a couple more things to go over before we go over weekly events, and let me just pop on over there. So, in the vault, the Ace of Cups, which apparently was already there, and the High Priestess. High Priestess is now available in the vault. Also, in chests, we have the Silken Queen. No reason to spend your keys right now. You're going to be blowing through them on Friday anyway, because it's Mythic Friday! The Eye of Argus. This guy, I hit the wrong button. This guy is going to explode a row, deal whatever his magic is times 2, plus 6. I know, it's so confusing to look at. Just, it's going to be doing damage to a random enemy. I hate that it's random. Boosted by red gems, brown gems, and skulls in the row. An additional 8 damage for each of the red, brown, and skull in the row. He's immune to stun. He gains 2 magic when he takes damage and creates 2 doom skulls at the start of turn. So, is he going to be useful? I don't know, but he's definitely going to be more useful than the other Groshnak mythics. Those guys are just terrible. I've tried them out, but I do not like them. Myself, so we went over that. Upcoming this week, tomorrow, we have the Hothead Pet Rescue. On Wednesday, we have Fangmore Faction Assault. On Thursday, we have the Necromancer class trial. And finally, this weekend, we have a free weekend, so to speak, depending. If you like Arena, that's great. I don't mind Arena. I like the challenge of it, but the rewards for the event are crappy. So, Arena this weekend, if you feel like doing it, or if you don't, it's going to be there. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you folks soon. Bye-bye!